Who's ready for some boom, baby, boom? Rise and shine. It's your morning marijuana motivation time. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Mark Saint. Good morning. And this is Saint's Addiction, baby. Like, I'm right here by the river. I got here early. Some old ladies beat me to my spot, but I said, let me get next to this big old bridge. Let me enjoy my life. Let me shine on, because I can throw my thoughts into action. That's why I put it on this morning. I said, dream on. The motherfucker said, dream on. And it was just like, yeah. For those that can actually put some work behind their ideas, the dream is on. And for those that just want to, hope, wish, and pray that it's going to happen, we have to have this conversation. This is the morning motivation. I'm Saint's Addiction. This is Mark Saint. Leg out. Let's go. So I got by the river this morning because, again, throwing my thoughts into reality, I wanted to make my dreams happen for me, right? It wasn't just enough for them to be in my mind, I needed them to be in my life. And the distance between something occurring for, say, just like a spark in your head and turning into an actual action was a big difference. The possibilities, obviously there's a cloud going over right now, but the possibilities are endless when your effort is not limited. And the tough part is if we only have so much energy during the day, they tracked some of these NASA scientists, to look at peak performance. If you're an astronaut and you're going to the moon and you're making things happen, they're tracking your ultimate peak experience, your ultimate focus, your ultimate output, and your max effort during the day. And it turned out that a lot of us, we let those max efforts go by because of an addiction, right? Because of a cycle, because of a pattern. And in that pattern, we'll get inside of our own heads and we'll just be like, okay, guess what? I'm back to my bullshit, as we say in the hood. I'm back on my bullshit. And I'm going to let that lead, whatever my emotional status is, whatever my relationship status is, whatever my financial status is. And that's going to be me. I'm just going to show up with that kind of energy. That's the way it's going to be. That's the way that it is. That's the way that I am. And instead of putting a thought into action, which is like, a man of action, someone that can turn a frown upside down, someone that can make some energy out of nothing, then you have something, right? Then you can have your morning smokes and stretching, you can have your mental clarity, and you can have your dreams come into reality. Now, it's a hard-pressed decision, but it's pretty subtle, and I'll explain why. Is because every one of us has a decision, a chance or a choice, is what they say. Every morning you get two things. You get a chance to be alive and a choice on the decisions you get to make with that day. The cool part is for most of us, especially when we arise or rise up or we get back into our lives, we can feel that spirit. I can feel the spirit when I look at like the river and the fresh flowers and everything coming by so nicely. It's a very beautiful experience. This is the reason why I come out here and do the stretching. Maybe I should be on this side of the sun. I'm gonna do my morning motivation and then we'll roll up. But not for nothing, nobody's gonna make it for you. Nobody's going to jump in your head and turn your dread into action, or turn your mistakes into successes, or make you have a different focus for failures. That's not really an option, right? That's something that is an inner discussion, and it's something that will prevail everything. It's so powerful for me to sit here and say, I'm going to make an international team at Intersect.ai, and I'm going to do 20 phone calls every night. And oh, by the way, we're going to go meet at Vietnam. And just like that, I know it's a reality. For some people, when they talk like we were talking yesterday, like, will I ever go to Madagascar? They asked me if I ever been to Sri Lanka. I was like, I met somebody from Sri Lanka, but I've never been to Sri Lanka, and I doubt that I'll ever go to Madagascar, but I'd like to go to New Zealand. And there's places that call us but it's not like we answer the call to actually say, yeah, I'm actually going to be there, that it's actually even possible. And you say to certain people, and I don't think it becomes a reality. I think it just becomes a fart of an idea, a hope, a wish, and a prayer. And we only get there when we put some action towards whatever we want to get. Now, trust and believe every morning, everybody's getting exactly what they want. You want that coffee, you want that cigarette, you want that cannabis, the 3 C's, then that's exactly what you'll get. And yeah, I haven't even rolled up yet, but I wanted to stretch first, get in the sunshine, and absorb some of this light. And the best part of my life is that I can make something happen. You know, it's not like I'm dredged or drowned out by my thoughts. I actually can put them power behind them, and they actually happen. I think that's the most magical thing that can happen, especially for a morning motivation or anyone's life, is to say, hey, I said I would, and I did. I came, I saw, I conquered, right? And this is I think Marcus Aurelius himself. And I stretch too in the morning dew. But to sit here and tell you that I would be there at 7 a.m. with someone else's shirt on and not my own Saints Addiction gear, and show up for a job that could fire me, get rid of me, lie to me, and then I have no energy, to a place where I get to sit here and put all the energy into me, into my muscles, into my mind, into my stretching. Now I have action, now I have something I can start with, and it's not just writing down a goal. It's turning those writings into work. I tell everybody, don't wish, just work, because we learn so much by the actual completion of a task. Most of us are looking for perfection, and then nothing ends up happening. It's almost like a pseudo way of procrastination. Everyone's going to have an opportunity to do something with their lives, but not everybody will take the opportunity to do something with their lives. And this guy just keeps doing laps around me, bro. I don't know what's going on with him. Like, pick a side. God damn it. I'm trying to do the morning motivation. You're interrupting, bro. Get out of here. We're trying to have some shine. And finally the sun comes back out. But, to have conversations with my body and it responds, like I said, hey, we're going to need some morning river stretching. We're going to have to do a stretch and smoke. I'm going to have to get more out of my joints and do some rubbing and stretching and adjusting, because yesterday my buddy came up and I didn't really get to finish my workout. These are the conversations that I have with my knees, my elbows, my shoulders, my hips. Start having a inner conversation with my body. And what ends up taking place is that now I'm not sitting behind the computer, now I'm not on my laptop, and now I'm not inside of a building. Instead, I'm getting all the energy from the universe, from the water, the earth, the wind, and the sun, the fire, if we were doing planet, Captain Planet, heart. I put all that energy into me, and then things start taking place, and I'm grateful for it. And no, this isn't a strip down. I got underwear on, but I can't stretch with these pants, so I'm gonna take these off so I can get a good stretch and get my hips right, because they've been nagging me at night, which is fine, but it's whatever. My buddy's like, are you going for a swim? I'm like, maybe, bro. I don't know. If I put some mental effort into it, then I have action. And that's what it's been like for all of those people that don't know how powerful they are, how quickly we can change from being stationary to having amazing capabilities. That's what's cool to me. Being able to say something in my mind and then have it come out into reality. That's a blessing, bro. Being able to have the mornings to myself, and no one's my own boss. No one can say, no, stop, you can't go, or you got to do this, or all these other things. No, ma'am, no, sir. I'm on my own, men's workout tanks. I'm on my own plan. I'm in my own body, and I have my own thoughts, and I bring them into reality. It's such a blessing to be able to say something inside my mind, from like even a vision to a whisper, and then it comes into a reality moment, right? Like it's actually happening, and then I put energy behind it, and I know it's actually going to happen. That's the blessing, you know, the freedom to take my morning and look at all these beautiful old buildings, you know, the old mill and things from the 18th, 19th century, and sit by the river and watch it flow, or butterflies go by and wildflowers. I can't find a better gym, you know, and the fact that I don't have to stop my health from going after it has been the biggest decision. I always said, you know, oh my God, look at this beautiful butterfly. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that monarch butterfly right there? Oh, I scared it away. But, you know, that in its essence would have never happened if I was still on my computer. You know, if I was still stationary. Oh, yeah. If I wasn't able to exercise my demons and take my frustrations or whatever kinks in my neck or cracks that happen, I take it for a walk. I take my mood for a walk. I take my soul on a journey. And then I can go inside and make this stronger. Because I know if I put energy into my thoughts, it's a real pattern, then something will really happen. And that's what we want. We want action. You know, even if it's just a little incline push-ups, men's workout tanks, even if it's just a little bit of sunshine, we take the most out of it and create something. It's like ingredients, you know, you need a little bit of flour, a little bit of salt, a little bit of water, and a little bit of heat, and all of a sudden you got a little bit of bread. But most people, they just want to chase the bag. They don't want to talk about the existential crisis of, man, I had to sit by the computer the whole time. You know, I started to gain weight, or I started to get pale. I forgot what my skin felt like in my own hands. I got disconnected. And that's what ends up happening. I can't do anything for money that doesn't have my passion. It's passion over paycheck all the time, because then I have limitless energy. If it's something that I love, then all of a sudden I stay up and I stay excited, and it gets the best energy out of me. And that's always going to transfer into action. If I dumb it down, right, and I find an excuse, a nap, a reason, a slack, you know, as this girl runs back, you're never going to get those endorphins. You're never going to get the waistline, and you're never going to get your dreams unless you take action. And that in itself is ignition. That's that Quan, baby. That's that motherfucking, I can do anything I put my mind to. And that's where I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And then I do. And then I make it happen, Captain. And that's made all the difference to me, that I can put something in my head and something outputs out of my body and my soul. It's mind, body, and soul, because if it comes into your mind, then it's a vision. And to bring a vision from dreamland into reality world, that's the difference. That's what everybody wants to have. That's what everybody wants to say that they can, because we say all sorts of shit. We'll tell our friends, yeah, man, I'm going to Italy. I'm going abroad. I'm going to go travel the world. But they can't quit cigarettes. They can't quit their patterns. And they can't quit their excuses. It's a silent battle that all of us have, but not all of us follow through with. And that's when I was like, okay, this is my real life. If I can work hard at teaching English at 7 o'clock in the morning, or working late night hours, then why am I doing that for someone else? I was working 16, 17-hour days selling cars and putting someone else's last name all over me. And now I'm waking up early and my last name's on my back, baby. You know, I'm living in my own reality. And it's such a blessing, bro, to be a healthy human being that's not reliant on substances or other people, but I'm free to stretch in the morning in my underwear by the riverside of Finland. And then next thing I know, it's going to be uh, Thailand or Vietnam as our team goes. And that I said I was going to make a team. I had just a fart of an idea, you know, this beach ball, I'll explain it, came from a hard day. I was doing a visa run over in Cambodia, Thailand area, which is quite often. And they were fucking up my paperwork and frustrating me and charging me. And I had a thought. I said, no one's going to stop China from taking Cambodia, like a Tibet or something like that, right? And in that thought, I was like, well, Russia and China would probably, that Southeast Asia section of the beach ball, they'd help each other out and take over the world. And then Europe's already colonized Africa, so that was already another section of the beach ball. And then if I wanted to, of course, America, Canada, and Mexico, they're like our little brother, right? So in that, the whole world was split into threes. And that's when I needed 3 different shifts of 8 hours put together. You know what I'm saying? I needed teams around the world, as I'm practically naked this morning, the morning motivation, that my 8 hours in America would turn into 8 hours in Taiwan or Vietnam or Denmark or Europe. I needed teammates in eeach section. My hoodie wants to be a little bitch this morning. Teammates in every section, and that way my 8 hours would turn into their 8 hours, and when I went to sleep, someone else was working, and then we would never sleep. Team no sleep. And that was just an idea, like in the back of a fucking minibus headed back to Thailand from Cambodia. I was still kind of mad about it. You know what I mean? I was still kind of angry at it. I was like, you guys are fucking up. And next thing I know, I had one of my best ideas ever. And so we can do the complaining. We can be angry, but doing something with that energy. Devil's playground. Idle hands is the devil's playground. How many times have we let our frustrations interrupt our progress? And I know I'm not the only one, you know? I'm not the only one that let a friend interrupt the workout or let drama skew my emotions or lose my focus and my connection to my body, mind, and soul. I started to tap out and started to dip in on the drama and like, well, this has to take place right now. I gotta focus on this. If I don't over dramatize, then something else will go wrong. Instead of being indifferent and saying, I need my energy for other things. I need my energy later for working out. I need my energy later for creating and imagining. And I also need my energy for building these businesses that I had the idea about. Now, having an idea is pretty fucking cool. Working that idea is even fucking better. Actually putting some energy, ingredients, catalyst into it makes it all the difference. And that's why I'm having this conversation this morning while I'm basically stripping off, and I probably almost jump into this water. But to be able to tell my body what to do, to tell my life what to do, to look up in the sky and say, yeah, man, this is my time to have some personal time, to focus on my health, my mind, body, and soul, to focus on my wealth. And if I'm healthy, then my life is wealthy. And if I'm on it, then I can create it. And that's the difference. I won't waste it. I won't waste my time. I won't waste my energy. I make it fucking happen. You know what I mean? And that's been exciting to me. Like, I had to keep saying it, but it's true that I can even sit here and look at my hoodie like I do and remember when I put my logo here and the spaceman here You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to look at your own creation and go, yeah, I made this. And then people compliment me and I'm like, you can order them. And then they want to model them. And then I can make them for you too. Photos on hoodies, you know, it's not just me. It's the printing capacity that I can print other people's dreams and be close to people that are creators and givers and helpers and doers versus the drama, the excusers, and the losers. Now I can make my own reality into my own. So, you know, it feels good to get up in the morning and not have a boss bitching at me. It's all I really wanted. You know, I know a lot of people would be like, I need to be a multimillionaire by 30, or, you know, I just need a bunch of money that's going to make me happy, or, you know, as long as people are jealous of me, then I am happy. There's people that play it that way, but that's not the way. It's not the way to get to what you really want. I think all we really want is some happiness, you know, our health first and foremost, then our happiness, and then let's use another H word like our havingness, if I can make that word up, because then you get to actualize something. You get to actually bring into your world that which you had in your mind, instead of leaving it in the gutter with the rest of your wasted time. You take the energy and you make it into something. You know, I was watching one of these Chinese people, and they just took the bamboo, they sawed it down, they carved it out, then they took the shells, and then they pushed the shells into the thing, and then the wire. With so much craftsmanship and days gone by of energy, well, most people would have been like, yeah, that's going to take too long, I'm not even going to try. To the people that are like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do with my life, the ikagi of something, the actual seeing it through and making something and holding it, instead of just writing down the idea, they started to develop it. And anybody that has the power to develop their mind, control their emotions, and be in action, that's a dangerous human being. That's somebody that nobody wants to fuck with, because they know nothing's getting in their way. It's almost like a mother. I remember the one that says, I'm stronger than you, and she's trying to push the baby stroller, and she's like, I got motherly instincts, and she starts pushing back. You know, this is that pushback, to push back against your excuses, to push back against the feeling of fear and anxiety, to push back on any lies that you've been telling yourself. This is the pushback. And now you have some ability to determine your life, versus it's just happening day by day and you don't know what's going on. Instead, you actually decide to do something with that energy. And you're like, you know what? I feel a little stir crazy. I feel a little anxious. Let me go work out. Or, you know, I feel a little bit hungry. Let me skip the fast food and let me cook myself a meal. Or where's the fastest food is still fruits. And the ability to say to ourselves, you know, today is the day. Day one, or one day, you decide. Yeah, I've made that shirt before, and it's so true, because it is the decision that you make. Oh, look at the little chickie coming by saying hi. I don't know if you can see it right there, but he's just saying what's up. But there's more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're all around me. I think they think they're getting some weed this morning, but they haven't joined Weed Club yet. But, you know, the self-determination is everything. I feel like a pirate's life for me, you know, to be able to be free every morning. I was talking with my buddy. He's like, his dad used to be sailing, and he's like, yeah, he would just get on the boat, and we would sleep on the boat and go camping and, you know, eating on the, and we had a little kitchen and all these things. I said, why did he have so many boats? Why did he go there? And then it dawned on me that was his way of plugging in a source, or feeling alive. You know what I mean? Like, when you can feel calm inside, clear inside, and able to execute things, then all of a sudden, I don't want to say you're a better human being, but you feel better as a human being. You know, you start treating things differently. You start treating yourself differently, your lovers, your friends, everybody gets that better version of you, because you started completing you. You know, no longer are you digging holes in your own canoe, or feeling shitty and resisting your ability to be powerful, right? By numbing or forgetting or covering up. You know, we all do it. Don't lie. It's just what it is, you know. But that's wasted energy. And that's one thing I don't want to do, is waste time or energy or my ability to create anything that comes into my world, you know, and a lot comes into this world because I kept listening to myself instead of my stress or the drama or whatever else wanted to come along. And trust me, it wants to come along. It wants to always get distracted and forget about my health. And then like, oh yeah, let me just get more sales. That'll help, you know. No, I got more sales because I am in health. I can stay up later because I'm more sharp from the morning stretches, and I can smile more instead of being like taking things personally, because then I'm here for it. You know what I mean? Like I actually started to arrive to the ball or to the show. Oh fucker, early, right? And that made all the difference. I prepared, you know. I was listening to, of course you would like this, Phil, fuck off. I was listening to your boy Musashi, the greatest samurai warrior ever to live, and he would do things in intelligence. He saw like dudes get really angry, so he'd be like, I'll show up late to the duel, and that will really piss off this fool. Or that another guy, because apparently he was really tall and bigger than everybody, the other guy was like waiting all day on the island so they could fight. He waited till midday, where the sun was at its peak, started rowing over, told the guy to take his time, and by the time that dude showed up, homeboy was furious and charged straight at him. He blocked the shot, whatever, but then he did this. He had the sun to his back, and nobody could see him. You can't see your foe anymore. You couldn't see the opportunity. You're blinded by the light of your own frustration and excuses and drama, that you couldn't see that this guy's made an opportunity of the sunset. He put the sun to his back so his enemy couldn't see his movements. And this just comes from intelligence. This comes from somebody that sat long enough to think about it, came up with a plan, pre-gamed. I remember one time he even showed up early. Everybody thinks he showed up late, and it was an ambush. You know what I'm saying? They ambushed him, and he didn't even know what to do. So he showed up early and watched them, and then he jumped out of the tree and killed the first dude and then fought the rest of them. But they were like, yeah, we want you to fight this 12-year-old. He's a genius at swords play. You know, I'm going to set up the duel with the 12-year-old. They weren't trying to have him fight a 12-year-old. They were trying to ambush him and kill him. They had their bows, arrows, and plans. But for somebody that showed up early and put some energy behind that thought, he foiled their plans. And that's what I've been saying. Join We Club, bless up. You know, you want to be able to outdo yourself. You want to be able to output yourself and be able to say from thoughts to actions that it's going to be a reality. Let's bless up. And that's made all the difference. That I can have a wild idea like traveling the world, pack it all up and do something about it. I didn't know anybody. And now I got friends around the world, and I didn't speak any other languages. And now I speak about 10 or 12 and practice them. And I didn't have any of my own businesses. Now I got about 12 of them as well. So the lies we tell ourselves, the actions we don't take, will forever dictate how we vibrate into our own universe, you know? And I know every morning I'm going to be taking it on slow. I'm going to park and spark and enjoy this thing called life and sunshine and watching families and rivers and trees and breeze and ducks and ponds and birds and fish, and get all the energy from the universe, put some energy behind it, do some work, and then I accomplish something with my day. I feel like I've lived full days to my full capability, instead of letting my dreams die with me. And that's important to me. So when it says dream on, I want to say action on. And that's this morning's motivation. If you got anything out of this, you already know. Go ahead, like, share, and subscribe below. But as always, peace and love. and Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever in Phoenix. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, subscribe. The other side of your fear, the other side of your excuses, and the other side of the world, because that's where I'll be. Peace.